Hello and welcome to the season finale of the CBA Digital Networks edition of First Take. I'm Dylan Milvoy and I'm here joined with Chris Height and Matt Moses, and today we're going to be having a roundtable discussion about the school year. The first question we're going to be talking about is the positives of school year, so Moses, let's start with you.
I think coming into junior year, with it being our first year, post-COVID, I would say from freshman year having masks all year, definitely very different, and then sophomore year, only midway through removing the mask and still being limited with events. This year was definitely a new experience, kind of a fresh start almost. But coming to junior year, with a lot of the work being hard, I think the introduction of free periods were really a great thing to help balance my work. I was able to still live and have a great life outside of school. Mm-hmm. So it was easy to balance with sports and
Chris, what about you?
Yeah, so I think definitely a positive of the school year is the opportunities we had, as juniors, but as Matt was saying, coming out of COVID, everything kind of got loosened up and we had more chances to do more clubs. Yeah. Specifically as an upperclassman, as we're juniors, I feel like we definitely had more opportunities to be leaders of clubs. For example, here in the CBA Digital Network, I had Mr. Letts gave me more opportunities to commentate and being the Colton Morning sports reporter and stuff. Yeah. So I just feel like as juniors, we had a lot more opportunities this year, and that was definitely a big positive. It really made the year a lot better.
Definitely.
What about you, Dylan? What do you think?
I think you're both right. Obviously, as juniors, we had more chances to do things. We're obviously older, so we could help out the freshmen. Obviously, we had the big brothers. That was, I think, a big positive for the year. I always kept up with mine. I always made sure he was doing good, and I'm sure a lot of kids did because, they're new. And when we were new to the school, we wanted to be led by someone who knew everything about the school, which we do. And I think that was definitely a big positive for not only us, but the freshmen who learned a lot about the school. But now we're going to move on to our favorite Colt Crazy game.
Oh, Colt Crazy game. I think definitely for sure when we packed the Howell game for the short conference tournament final, that was just crazy. I remember it was a costume out, so everyone was dressed in any costume you could think of. I remember seeing a rabbi in the crowd. It was crazy. But for sure, I think that game, and even with the moments of that game, it was 2-1 close score. I think we took a quick lead, but still with the Howell coming back with one, it still kept us on our toes the entire game. Yeah. Especially I remember Jack Ostrowski getting in the game late in the game and him absolutely trucking a dude and just absolutely
take long to get back on.
It didn't. It got the crowd roaring after a couple minutes. So definitely hype all around. I really felt like this is what CBA is about, and this is what we are. That's what kind of school we are. So.
Yeah, Chris, what about you?
So I'm split between two games of two different sports. So first, my Tide's favorite is the soccer game, the March of the Colt Crazies, where they they allow all the guys and the kids to come out, get out of school early for one period to go to the state semifinal, I believe it was, and it was just so enjoyable. I remember personally there was junior retreats that day, so I came back from junior retreat, and we came back and we just see everyone walking, and we're just like, oh wow, look at that, and we were very excited. And then the other game that I'm going against, I have to go with the classic option, which a lot of people will probably agree. Even though it was away this year, the Founders Cup, the CBA basketball versus RBC, it never fails to disappoint. It was, even though it was away and we didn't have as big of a section because RBC is a little smaller than CBA. Yeah, we still had I think the guys had a great time, even though we lost, unfortunately. It was still a great time. Yeah. A lot of brotherhood, I felt like, and it was just very enjoyable. A lot of energy. We almost broke the bleachers. They were shaking, everyone was jumping. Yeah. Very, very exciting two games there.
Definitely. If I'm gonna have to go with another basketball one, but the St. Rose game was probably one of my favorite games this year. Sure. Because we were close with the game the whole time. We thought we were gonna get blown out right away, but they kept up until the last few minutes of the fourth quarter, and the atmosphere was just amazing. The fans were going crazy. Even in general, there were so many people there, which just made it so much better. The game was intense. Everyone was screaming. I think that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we definitely showed up for that game. Yeah. Even though it resulted in a loss, our entire basketball team showed up for that. Yeah. We really they really locked in, and with the crowd, it was just crazy. Thinking we could keep up with such a competitive team, top in the state, coming from not even ranked. So it was definitely
It was a fun game.
yeah,
And
for
such an
sure.
infamous moment in that game where Will Higgs hit that shot over Matthew Hodge. The crazies went crazy, and they lived up to the name.
Okay, now we're gonna go. Obviously, we all work in the digital network, so let's talk about our favorite moment this year.
Probably filming hockey. Filming hockey was different. This was my first time. This is my first year in the digital network homeroom. So I really found my way with the camera. Just had an appeal to it right off the bat. Just with taking pictures, that was definitely a fun moment. But I think filming hockey really has to take it from me because personally, I know a couple kids on the team too. So and we are just disgusting. Like this year we were really dominant. Especially coming off last year being a state contender or being a state champion, and then this year being an even more state contender with the return of Pat Riley. Just our team was really dominant, and whether it was filming them on ice, absolutely destroying Bergen Catholic, or I would say like them getting into fights. Either like it was just a fun moment all around to record. Just great atmosphere, even if it wasn't like the Cold Crazies didn't show up to the game. It just was great. No, like the chills in the hockey rink really were outstood by the warmth I felt when recording and the energy I had during the game.
Definitely. Chris, what about you?
So again, I have two because there's a lot of ties here. But firstly, I have to say. Since again, I'm going back to opportunities and the fact that I got to commentate a lot more. Again, I can't thank Mr. Ross enough for giving me the CBA versus Madawan Shore Conference Tournament game, which was a really special game for me because I'm from Madawan. I went to Madawan Middle School, so I knew all those kids. It was a lot. It was very emotional for me. As Mr. Ross knows, I gave a lot of energy in that one, a lot of screaming. I really had a great time with Joe Grossman. So we really did have a great time. And then the other thing I decided, the other moment was and I know Dylan, you didn't go on this trip, but we did have a digital network trip this year to Columbia College for a special Scholastic press conference, and it was just very enjoyable. I'm sure Moses can remember some of the funny moments. On the train platform at like 7 a.m. and you had everybody yelling, and Mr. Hutz was like, "Why are you guys yelling? It's 7 a.m. and we're on the train," and all the commuters are like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" So it was just there was a lot of funny moments. I thought it was a great bonding moment for all of us guys in the digital network homeroom. So I definitely think there were many more great moments in the digital network, but those are just my two favorites.
Yeah, you could definitely argue with that trip. That's what honestly I think brought us together. Like it was definitely, I think a bunch of us coming in the homeroom come from different backgrounds. Like obviously everyone knowing each other for sure.
Yeah.
But just like I think that trip really brought everyone together. And then we were able to. I think from that moment we all realized like who works good with what can we do to get the best production out for the digital network.
With me, I have two big moments, both basketball. My first one is doing my first varsity game with Ben when we did Marlboro. That game was so much fun to do, and it was just so energetic. So many people there, even from the Marlboro side. It was just such a fun game to commentate. But I think my absolute favorite moment of the year was when I commentated with Finn and his classic, "He was in my math class" quote when we were commentating the game. I mean, I don't think I've ever laughed harder in my life. I mean, we had to mute our mics so no one could hear us laughing, and all the teams were just looking at us like, what the hell is wrong with us? Like, it was just so funny, and no one understood why we were laughing so hard but us, and it was just an amazing memory that I will keep forever.
Yeah, I got to comment on that for a second, and sticking with you commentating, I remember the first time I ever commentated a basketball game with you, and for those of you who watch our basketball games, I can be very animated sometimes when in my calls. So I remember, I think I said he sliced and diced to the basket. So one of those Walt Frazier, I said, Dylan just looks at me like, he just gives me a look. He didn't say anything. He mutes himself. Tries not to laugh. Gives me a look. I remember I never forgot that moment, and I can't wait to commentate more with you the next time. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, so now we're going to do favorite school event. So, Mos, what you think?
Favorite school event, there were a lot this year because obviously coming out of, like I was saying before with COVID, we didn't really have much lively environment with this like brotherhood, and I think it really took to this year to realize what it meant personally. Just because of like the setback we had with the masks, it just wasn't it was definitely different, and I really changed as a person over this year. But I think for best school event, probably gonna have to go with Battle of the Classes. The actually like that whole event throughout this whole year really made everyone in like our grade come together a lot for points, obviously, because the system works with whoever gets the most points gets huge like rewards. Like it was like dressed down at the end of the thing, and at the end of each month or quarter or semester or whatever it was. But yeah, we really came together to do that, and at the end, the pep rally was crazy. I remember I was taking pictures for that, so I would say I was a different perspective, than like most people would like. So everyone else was in the crowd and they were going crazy, but I was right in there taking pictures, and I think really what I saw was just crazy. I remember at the end too, juniors obviously we won that, and one moment I remember I still have the picture on my phone is when I remember I went to take a picture of the group. And then I realized to myself, I'm like, well, I'm in this too. Like, I'm a junior.
Yeah.
And I took a picture from my phone. It was like a selfie. And then everybody in the background, it just felt like really sick picture that it's on my like home screen right now. Like, I'll always remember that moment. And I even have a video of like us running out after winning. Like, that stampede of juniors, we really wanted to win that. And we really showed effort for, I think it all really came out that year after so long of just like, not doing anything from COVID. We're really a live event because we got to miss class and stuff too. So it was just a great day overall.
Chris, what about you?
You know, I got to go with the same thing, the pep rally, and it was a little different from my perspective. Well, because I remember, so I believe I commentated a basketball game about 2 days before that, and I was talking to Miss D about the pep rally right after the game, and I remember her telling me that she wasn't sure like how well the students would receive the pep rally, if it would be like a big thing or it would be like a smaller thing. And thankfully, as Moses has already described, it was just a fantastic spectacle of cheering and everything. And it was special for me because, as some of you may know, I have Height on the Mic, you know, a smaller TV segment we do here at the Digital Network, and that was our biggest episode. You know, I just walked in and I got to go around all the grades, talk to everybody. The juniors really embraced me. I was very, very thankful for all of that. And, you know, I enjoyed that time. You know, it was very exciting, and I'm glad not only were the students into the pep rally itself, but they were also into Height on the Mic, which I can appreciate. And it was just fun to see all the teachers having fun and all of us having fun and all of us together for once since COVID.
For me, I'm going to have to go. It's not really a school event, but I would count it as one. I mean, the walk up to St. Peter's game was just like from being on the soccer team, a point of view, it was so cool to watch them all walk up. Like we were all warming up, and they all started running, and our coach was like, "Pay attention! Come on, we're not playing for them, we're playing for us." And we all just could not stop looking at the crazies. I mean, it was just such an amazing environment to be in, especially play in front of. And I mean, definitely them being there helped us win the game and take us to the state championship. So that's definitely
Goosebump
a big
feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely All right, our final question. What do you guys have advice for future and current students here at the school?
So for current and future, definitely the underclassmen under us and incoming freshmen, enjoy everything you can. Like I've learned to definitely appreciate this. I've learned to 100% appreciate my junior year at CBA because, like I've repeated multiple times over this first take, how like we got cut short for COVID. Freshman year they did the best they could. Honestly, I couldn't when I heard of like my friends who go to other schools, they didn't have a school year. It was a joke for them. They just had like a summer part 2.
And they were online.
Exactly, online, hybrid, whatever. CBA, we were in 5 days as much as we could. So we definitely did try, but for the kids incoming, yes, there's gonna be a lot of sacrifice you're gonna have to make, especially on time. Use it to your advantage though, because the memories you're gonna make are gonna last forever. And especially just my junior year alone, after emerging from this post-COVID, definitely made tons of memories. So starting as a freshman early with having all 4 years ahead of you, get everything you can in that you can. Go to a baseball game. Go to a fencing match. Do whatever. Do whatever. Like it's just you need to enjoy every moment you can because we're all 3 of us are gonna be seniors next year.
Yeah.
Crazy. I still feel like a freshman at heart. So yeah, Chris, on to you. What do you think?
Well, what I think is, so for even kids, you know, students our age and students that are incoming and before us and younger, my advice, again, I have the 2 pieces of advice type of thing, but make CBA a home. Like there's a lot of people who get upset over one test and look at CBA like, oh, I don't like it. I did bad on one test, but it's really a second home as you come into the older grades. As a junior and starting to realize that you're gonna be a senior, you're gonna be like almost like the adults in the school. Just make CBA your second home. You're here all the time, be in a lot of clubs, be involved, and if you don't want to do sports, there's Pegasus, there's the digital network, there's stuff like that. And then my second piece of advice would be take advantage of what you're given in junior year. You're given a lot of opportunity to do a lot of different things, especially in leadership positions in many different organizations, or even you could just join other organizations. There's a lot of opportunity in junior year, and I just recommend to anybody going in, take advantage of it. It's a great year. It's a lot. You experience a lot of growth. I think we all can agree we grew a lot in junior year, and it just goes just like that. And now we're on senior year, so it's crazy.
My advice to give you guys is to go to any game or event you can possibly. I mean, don't be a kid that goes home at 2:30. I mean, we all were told that our freshman year, and we didn't know how to take it. But then, obviously, playing in front of a crowd for soccer, and then going to like basketball, hockey, lacrosse games, it really showed me how much fun this school is, and the brotherhood that is brought together from these just like sports games in general. So don't be a kid that goes home, and try to have as much fun as you can.
There's always something to do. You're always like, there's always those kids who are like, oh, I don't know there's always something to do. Get involved. You're gonna make everlasting memories for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. And you'll meet people that are gonna be your best friends for I didn't a lot of my closest friends now I didn't meet till sophomore year. So you never know when you're gonna meet somebody new here at CBA. Mm-hmm. And it's just really a great experience. Well, Dylan, ready to wrap it up?
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching season 2 of CBA's Digital Network edition of First Take. We can't wait to start season 3 in September. But for now, for Chris Height and Matt Moses, I'm Dylan Milvoy, signing off, and have a great summer.